everyone, and welcome back to the Devil May Cry 5 Spoilercast. We'll pick up right where we left off last week.
You know, the plot thing that really does bug me is I wish that they gave any explanation to how the heck Virgil is back. How he survived the events of Malay Island.
It really seems like he's just been wandering around.
It's been over 10 years.
So here's an alternate. See, even my alternate explanation would still mean there's 5 years, which would be that he woke up when Nero devil triggered.
Right. Like
that's still 5 years.
Yeah, the events of 4 really do make you wonder where the fuck Virgil was during all of that.
Yeah. This game really highlights how incomplete 4 is.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it numerous times that 5 feels like the hyper-polished... what was it? I was describing it to Bob. I was like, the cool thing about Devil May Cry 5 is it's like they got so fucking long to think about making one game, and 4 is almost a prototype for it in a lot of ways. Like where it's just hyper polished in so many different ways, and it builds on the ideas, it completes plot threads.
Right, like Nero got to legitimately find out about his past. Mm-hmm. We got closure on that as a player.
Yeah.
Instead of it being some art book note or side note.
I was really close to saying this earlier, back in part 1 of this spoiler cast, but the way Dante says, the way Ruben Langdon says Yamato, just something about his delivery. Yeah, he's like, I realized it when I saw the Yamato tomato react to you, Nero. He's your fucking dad. Just that delivery, the bluntness of it, that revelation. I really enjoyed that scene where Dante's just like, shut the fuck up, Nero. It's not even about that. It's about the fact he's your dad. Come on, fuck off. And then Nero's like,
nobody gives a shit about your arm.
Wait, it's not about me not being strong. And he's like, no, we found you on a swing set. You were taped to it.
I really like how Dante can't stop shit-talking Virgil about the arm. Like when you're winning in the final boss, he goes, you stole your son's arm for this?
I know! He's like, you took your son's arm and you still lost.
No, that's after Nero beats him during the fight when you're playing as Dante. He'll just say, you stole your son's arm for this?
Yeah. No, it's so good.
Which is also weird because after you win that fight, Dante then reveals Nero is his son. And he's like, oh, that was that was a long time ago. Implying Virgil's only fucked once.
Well, he died like right after.
Yeah, like what was it? He had a line almost immediately there of, I don't care about my son. Yeah. And then there was like this hang.
I think it's scripted, and then he goes into the gigantic judgment cut right after.
I like the part where, what was it? It was Dante. He's like, I guess we were all young once. Or even you were young once. And it's just like that line. Because it's like, they don't want to go into detail.
When your forehead was smaller.
You had a 3 head, and now you have a 6 head. But yeah, just something about that line of like referencing the fact, yeah, you fucked a Virgil and you had a son, you piece of shit. But the way they're going to fully develop that is just Dante making a joke about it. Like, that's really funny to me.
Yeah. Everybody already knew. They had already blew their load in an art book, so there wasn't really a big point to like make it a twist.
The important thing, I feel, is more that he's his father, not how, not like whose penis did he stick?
We don't need to see Virgil go make eyebrows at the Order of the Sword Lady.
Right. I mean, they already did that scene.
I think they gave it enough time and like enough like weight, like in the initial reveal of it, that I think it was fine.
Yeah, I don't think we need to develop the love story. I feel like once you get into that, you get into Lords of Shadow tier.
Yeah, there's no way that would be good.
That would be terrible.
I don't want to talk about Lords of Shadow. Even the parts I don't even know at all, and the parts I do know make me want to die.
That's fair.
Castlevania month is coming.
Where it's like Trevor Belmont is also Alucard.
Yeah,
just like
yeah, it's all good stuff. It's all in there.
I love that that's the only twist in that game and it's immediately apparent, but then they spend the entire fucking game pretending you don't realize such an obvious thing. And then the conclusion of the entire game is just that. We're talking about Mirror of Fate for anyone who hasn't played Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Wolf Doors.
Anyway, I'm more on the father thing. Like,
sure,
I really like the scene with Lady, that like where she's like, you can't do this. This will screw you up. Don't go kill your dad.
Right, and like
I appreciated that because it was one of the few times she was in the game and did something that wasn't embarrassing.
We could talk about embarrassing lady moments in a moment, but I thought, like, because Bob and I were having a conversation a couple days ago of like, Trish and Lady maybe don't get a lot to do in this story, but I do think it's really important that Lady has that conversation because that's an important part of her character we establish at the end of 3, where she murders her father and thought it would be easy, and it clearly has a deep impact. And her line in this talking about, you know, that's not something you get over. I think this game's a lot better for having her there to say that, and I think her character is somewhat more fleshed out over time by her having said that.
Right, I feel like that's the reason she was in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we didn't need those characters in 4, but they were there. They were there with body transformation powers.
What are you talking about? Trish was very important to the story of 4.
Trish was magically black.
She was the reason that everything went wrong.
See, there you go.
She wasn't black. She was a Garu. There's a difference.
This is why they could have explained the Morrison thing. It's the same thing.
Z.
Morrison doesn't have devil powers.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You tell me to shut up, but you with your DMC Felix Jones garbage. No, that needs to be said.
He doesn't have the Street Fighter birdie flu that makes him turn black, or makes him briefly white. Rather, that's that.
Just for the anime, he was sick
I had a
during
weird
the anime.
flu that made me white.
That's there, mate.
I want some porridge.
But yeah, I'm just...
Birdie does want some porridge. He fucking loves eating.
And that's the thing, like Trish, with her being the only other character to hear from V, because it happens twice. V confesses who he is and explains things twice. And one of the second time he does it, thus, you know, making it a consistent thing he's saying and not just he lied to this one character. It's between him and Trish. And since you're still able to entertain in your brain that this might actually be Mundus, I think her
Yep.
Yeah, I think that this conversation
Bob fucked us up is what happened.
Yeah,
no, because like, and it's a reasonable thing for Bob to have predicted, because why the fuck else would he have those monsters? That's really fucking weird.
Yeah, Nilo Angelo didn't exactly have a connection with those guys.
Yeah.
I'm still so mad that somebody else predicted all of this to me before the game. They even predicted Devil Sword Dante. They predicted what it was called.
I feel like you owe that person a name drop on this podcast, is how I feel.
It was at Dumb Serb on Twitter and at Dairokato. They both had the same fucking premonitions.
Because these were, honestly, everything except the Dante sword thing was my alternate take on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally like, okay, this Virgil stuff is a red herring. There's no way he just called V and then is Virgil. It was like, okay.
Right, because that's so
too easy.
Obvious. Yeah.
That's too easy. That's why I went with the crazy one, the one that was hype.
Also, the fucking your reason is your reason to fight. I fucking
Which is
cackled.
great because the mission before it is Nero going, "What's your name?" And Urizen says, "I have no name."
Yep. Bob, did you not?
I didn't gather that.
He literally says that. V's in his office. He's in Dante's office, and he goes,
yeah, no, now that you've said it, I added it together.
And Bob's like, yeah, he is his reason to fight.
Urizen is also a William Blake thing, but he's the embodiment of reason. He's literally called Your Reason because in William Blake, he's Your Reason.
Yeah.
And then V just mouthing Virgil at the end of that cutscene.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so much. It's just...
Can we talk about how apparently if you take out Virgil's power lust, he's just a fucking moody goth who reads William Blake?
And has scoliosis.
The weird thing is even V wants more power. Like, that's the one thing they relate on. So
Does he, or did he just not want to die?
He needs more power than actively disintegrating.
yes.
V goes to serve as an illustration of what happens without power. You literally die from your own weakness. So him as a counterpoint to Virgil's demonic, like Demon King lust for power is interesting because it's a balance between the two. You know, the gray was divided into black and white. It just so happens that black was 14 stories tall and sitting in a badass throne shooting lasers out of his nipples while a crystal beats you up. And the white was scoliosis.
Was this all Virgil's plan?
Yeah.
Because that's the
Yeah.
part I'm not clear on. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
I take it as this was all V's plan.
Yeah, I think it was V's plan after splitting.
Yeah.
Like, I need to reform because it didn't work.
Yeah, I think that, but I don't think Virgil was like, I'm going to do this Xanatos gambit to re-become myself. I don't even think V intended to do that until he started fucking evaporating.
No, I think that was absolutely his plan because you hear him say multiple times that he needs to be there when it happens. Like, he's like,
And
we
then
have
he
to be there.
does
when
a villain smile at the end of the Diverging Point Nero mission.
Uh-huh.
When Nero's like, sure, I'll bring you there. And then it just ends on his smile of, I'm going to do some shit in a minute.
That was
Bob.
if you die as V, he says, my plan is he dies.
Yep.
Also,
Oh, really?
he
I
has
never
a
died
taunt-
as him.
Yep.
One of his taunts is literally a villain laugh. Like, he just maniacally laughs for a minute straight.
Yep. No, it's they did a good job there with V and the misdirect.
I really enjoy how Virgil comes back to life. He can do whatever he wants. Fuck you, Dante, you didn't win. Like, he essentially reforms just immediately screaming, fuck you, Dante, you didn't win. I didn't lose.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't me. That was somebody else.
I didn't lose in 3. I didn't lose again in 1. I didn't lose. Fuck you, we have to fight right now.
I like how they finally ended the struggle by like, no, this just has to chill out. We can't kill each other because, oh my god, you can't kill Virgil. It's impossible. They killed him 3 times. It doesn't work.
Man too angry to die.
Virgil doesn't even know why he's doing it by the end.
Too
of this
motivated
Yeah.
to die.
Yep.
He's just like, no, I have to win because fuck you.
I do love that post-credit scene where he's just like, where did you learn how to count? We're even.
Yeah, no, it's very much a fighting game situation with me and Dan.
Yeah.
And I that's reinforced by even like Dante didn't even care. Dante was so pissed that all this was a plan for him to come back. But by the time Nero shows up, he's just like, fucking whatever. I don't fucking care.
I beat him. I don't need this anymore.
Right, yeah.
Like how Virgil's so butthurt. He's like, okay, if I beat Nero, that means I beat you. That's how it works.
Yeah,
that was the best shit.
The ending of this game was an episode of The Weekly Beating, and I really enjoyed that. It's like,
Virgil basically went, okay, now this match counts for 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go after this, so this one is the Grand Championship of the Universe match. If I win this one, none of the previous ones counted, only this one counts.
And then Virgil will retire undefeated champion.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
come on, dude, you're in your 40s.
Dude, they wrote that rivalry so perfectly.
It's really weird to me that Virgil is older.
Yeah, that's actually something I really wanted to bring up on this discussion. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Field. Not once in this do they say twin brother. They always say older brother Virgil.
He popped first.
They don't say
Well,
twin once.
why is Virgil older than he was in 3?
Well, I mean, we don't know what happened after being captured. He was clearly kept alive, at least until Nilo Angelo stuff. And that would still be a pretty long amount of time.
And they even show Nilo Angelo's face where it's an older Virgil. So this is a consistent
but
thing.
it's just so funny to me that he's like the exact same age as Dante, and he just pops out a boomer.
Yeah. No, it's fan-fucking-tastic.
The can comes out.
I thought it was a weird thing where they're just not once in this game would they say the word twin. They're like his older brother Virgil. He's the older one. This is important. It was seconds apart, but let's all remember Virgil's the older brother.
I also like the reveal that kind of gives Virgil a more tragic backstory.
The part where he needs more power. Yeah.
Well, the part where he needs more power because he thought his mom abandoned him and he can't rely on anybody but himself.
Holy shit, that mom flashback.
Yeah, that was
One of the only complaints I have about the game is I wish we had gotten more of that.
I feel like it was another moment in this game where it was some shit I just did not expect from a Devil May Cry game.
That was in the trailer as well.
Yep.
Holy fuck, that trailer!
that trailer's dumb.
Like her saying you need to start a new life. Like that they start that and start playing the Your Legacy song that they use in the ending and in the
Holy
credits.
Shit. I totally understand that though, as a balance between we need a trailer to get people really hyped because fucking assholes need this shit spoiled so they'll be interested. You know, it's like the evolution of movie trailers, how back in the 60s and 70s they're like, what is the secret of Soylent Green? It's people. Come watch the movie. Fuck you. Like, and nowadays they're a bit more nuanced about it. Actually, to be
The equivalent to that is here's some butt rock sad song Virgil's back. Please play this.
Yeah. Which, to be clear, that is the only thing they don't spoil in the trailer for the movie Soylent Green. Every character death, every character, every
Virgil's
other
back?
thing that happens is spoiled.
The Sparta family house and the family portrait is another DMC Devil May Crap thing.
That's all
Sure.
stuff that's just
okay, they showed a family
backstory.
photo. Go ahead and explain.
That family photo
I'm
looks like it's from the Devil May Cry 1 art book.
I just think there's a lot of stuff from the game. I think Itsuno took the good parts of that game and was like, let's save the good things.
I still feel like those were all ideas they had earlier than DMC, and they're like, hey, you could try doing this in DMC.
It's so hard to say what the development of DMC even was.
A clusterfuck.
Like, DMC5 has the one of the good things from DMC where when you beat an enemy, it does the slow down and like the zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows if Itsuno was why that was in DMC.
But the funny thing is that in DMC, it looks like garbage every fucking time, and in Devil May Cry 5, it actually looks really damn good.
Oh, here's one thing that I'm kind of sad they took out that should have been in DMC5 from previous games. Style adjudicators.
Excuse me, what?
The style adjudicators, the statues that you have to get a certain style ranking to break for pieces.
I would have loved that because
They probably saw that.
getting styles pretty a lot more fun in this game than I feel any of the others. Like I really enjoyed like building it up.
Because a lot of the orbs are just out in the open.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that's something they took out because it was like this barrier of entry for people.
There's that, and also I do think that whole thing is in its own way a small form of filler. Like, I'm not saying it's terrible, but I am saying that in a way, having someone wail on a statue to get a style is kind of like filling it out.
In DMC3, it kind of was.
Like, it's hit this thing for a couple minutes and get this style. Whereas if you just have it in a secret, explorable area, that's a bit less fillery.
Although there are a couple of them that have weird challenges attached to them that it doesn't explain.
Yeah.
Like, did you get the one in Mission 18?
No, I think I only got 3 secret missions my entire playthrough.
Oh, not a secret mission. It's not a secret mission. There's secret missions that aren't secret missions. Like,
Oh, you talking about the
there's
timer
a
doors?
there's a blue fragment in the distance on one of Nero's missions, and if you fall in a hole in front of it, it vanishes.
What?
In Mission 18, where you fight the Malay Island dudes, there is a section where there are 3
of those hard no stagger bugs.
Yeah, there are 3 of the red Impusa things that give you red orbs. If you kill all 3 before they leave, a blue orb fragment spawns.
Oh, I didn't realize that was happening there in my brain. Keep in mind, at this point, I'm fucking tired. But I'm wailing on these bugs, and then I look behind me, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's the blue gem. Wonder where that got there.
There is one that made me very just upset, where, you know, you use a guide to get the rest of the HP extensions and the DT extensions. In the mission where you're Nero, and you have to go up the Clyphot and fight Urizen again and lose, there are those transporters that take you up the big veins. If you go behind the third one and hit a tentacle, it spawns a blue orb fragment.
Yeah,
That's great.
No, what? That upset you? You weren't doing that?
No, I was not going around them.
Dude, it was a giant sign that's like, hey, pay attention to me and only me. And
It's
I'm
like
fuck
a
you, I'm
waterfall in
walking
a video
around.
game.
And I just, it is the waterfall of like, don't go behind this waterfall. It's just supposed to look cool.
It's in mission 15. You see a blue sphere across a gap, and if you can get across the gap, I think if it's before the end of the game, you'd probably have to use Gerbera.
Huh.
But if you get across it, you can grab it. If you slip down, enemies spawn and it vanishes.
Huh. That's cool. Yeah, I think this game has a superb amount of replayability, and I am so fucking excited to play it at least one more time through, probably more than that.
And right now I have 19 things of health and 3 blue orb fragments, and I'm missing 1, and I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Itsuno, quality of life improvement. Just put a star next to the mission if I got everything in it.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
I like that sort of stuff.
I did not notice the blue orb fragment that's in mission 2, the one with Goliath in it, where...
Yeah, neither did I. I had to look it up in a guide and go get it.
Yeah, where you, like, jump through the side of a building.
You know where in the demo there's the overture up on the ledge near the end? There's a hole in the wall up there that has a blue orb in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I only found out because I watched a stream where a guy did that and was like, oh, that's cool.
I only found out because I ran a stream with Bob where he did that, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's how I found it. I watched the stream in which Bob did it.
That's great.
So what you got? Which of the Devil Breakers are your guys' favorite? I'm curious what your preferences
That's really
are
complicated. I really love how each of them tactically is really interesting and different. And I was telling Bob, I feel like the Devil Breakers are a really cool way to add a bunch of interesting and unique tactics to Nero without it being all one vector. Like, he has a set of abilities that is vast now because of all these Devil Breakers, and it's really cool.
He needed something like this. There's like he just didn't have enough
compared to Dante.
Even before the Devil Breakers, he has way more moves than 4.
He does,
like,
and that helps a lot.
He has that. He has that dive bomb now, which is really good.
I love that dive bomb.
And he has the one where you just hold and he does like a big jumping Unga slash.
Yeah, that one's also great for clearing distance. But my favorite Devil Breaker is probably Punchline.
Yeah,
like you ride around a rocket arm.
Yeah,
there's so much you can do with that. Like, you can just leave it out there. It kind of feels like Devil May Cry 3's show the rebellion into the enemy and then go hit somebody else. But then you just hold the button and you could ride around, do a whole different set of moves on your devil arm.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, I honestly, if I were to say one, I would say Punchline as well. Though Gerbera is the one where you can do the rocket or the explosion dodge, right?
Yeah,
I think Gerbera is pretty fucking cool and a great thing for people who need that dodge button from Bayonetta. So just fucking use Gerbera, guys.
But if you get hit while you're using it, then you'll break. Then you don't have dodge button anymore, Dan.
But it has that's like the third dodge in that, or fourth, because you can like side step dodge, you can jump, you can jump, you can air taunt,
you can jump, you can enemy step, you can air hike, and then you can Gerbera. Come the fuck on, you can dodge.
And there's also the super dodge that Nero gets.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of bosses are pathetic in the face of enemy step.
Yes, it is beautiful and right.
Like Goliath, Cerberus, both forms of Urizen.
Oh man,
Nightmare. It's just like just tap dance on their head while you're stabbing them.
Did anyone else find that Urizen fight in the awesome pretend dimension to be like? How many other people here rocked his fucking world in that fight? Because that dude got fucking wrecked by me. It was so hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I did on normal. And this is what I wanted to bring up. Does that boss like feel weirdly like a not Devil May Cry boss?
I didn't think about it in those terms. I just thought about it as like Urizen's supposed to be so powerful, but he's so tall and clumsy because of how big he is.
He's weird. Like, it's weird and goofy that this 15-foot tall man is using, like, crouching karate low kicks on you.
Yeah, and missing horribly. That's why he was so easy for me, because he's just kicking underneath me as I hack his face off.
Does he have the phase where he starts to do Ryu combos on you in normal, or is that only Son of Sparta?
I can't remember.
I forget. I kind of just burned through.
I'm pretty sure it's only Son of Sparta because I died multiple times on Son of Sparta and I didn't die on normal. I think I died once because I wasn't paying attention.
Because he's like a tutorial
in Son of
boss.
Sparta, he
regular.
Yeah, he is more like that in a way.
In Son of Sparta, he starts to have like I'm talking about the perfect form Urizen. He has like a punch, and if you get hit, he has like a combo, and if you get hit by any stage of it, you're just wrecked, and he carries you like across the arena doing a super.
I did not see that once, and I beat Son of Sparta, so
yeah.
I got sick of it because I couldn't, because he'd do the thing where the big spikes come up from all over across the entire arena, and then he'd immediately go into that, and I couldn't figure out how to dodge it, so I just popped Sin and destroyed him before he even got to do it.
Yeah, I don't.
Holy shit.
Sin Devil Trigger is weird. Like, I really like some of the stuff it does, but I have to wonder like what it does to the balance of the game. Like, if they made some of the health bars too big for enemies, because they're like, well, this thing can bleed or just melt them. So
I don't think it's, you get it for so little time. I don't think it really matters.
But the other playthroughs, it does matter. Like, the whole point is hard mode or Son of Sparta mode and Dante Must Die mode.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played.
Even if you walk into a boss with it fully charged, you're only going to get like maybe a quarter of their health off with it.
So for example, like I use Sin Devil Trigger against that Urizen fight. You pop it and you start doing combos on them, and that does about maybe a quarter at best. But then you hit square and triangle at the same time before it runs out, and then you use Judgment, and that's another quarter off. Because its range is insane, and it ends with an explosion.
Yeah, I mean, what Bob's talking about here is the battle has now become so focused on Sin Devil Trigger that it's almost the chainsaw of this game. Whereas that was what, Bayonetta 2, Bob?
Yeah.
During the Virgil Son of Sparta fight, I'm like, I need to build toward this because this is really rough.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really think it's that big a problem because DMC5 is kind of cheesecake anyway, at least on even to get S ranks because of that no revival bonus. I think it was more like, go express yourself. You can do cheesecake things and get a good score and clear the game. Although I don't think it's going to work very well on Dante Must Die mode.
Yeah, that's what I've only just started my Dante Must Die mode run, so I haven't got to Dante yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm just saying.
I've had multiple people tell me, get ready to fight those teleporting lizards a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No.
Real quick, but yeah, Bob, do you want to?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, the health bars are so big for the enemies now that using your regular moves doesn't matter as much. It feels like because you can wail on forever, like, and you're not using Devil Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like I make that big a dent.
Right. So then, in a sense, you're wailing on him to build up your normal Devil Trigger to then siphon it into your Sin Devil Trigger.
Right.
I don't really think anything has had an inordinately large health bar, even on Son of Sparta. Maybe the only thing that I think maybe has a lot of health is the weird lizard tank things that has two tongues.
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about bosses more than random enemies.
Right.
The Sin Devil Trigger, yeah, it'll melt a group of enemies, but that's okay because there's going to be another group and you'll have to recharge it.
Right.
The damage on bosses feels kind of consistent with 4 to me.
I don't know. Like, Cerberus is the only one I can think of where it's like, this feels like kind of a big health bar unless I'm using Sin Devil Trigger. But yeah, he's basically at the end of the game.
Guess what I fucked up with that fight?
What did you not use Sin Devil Trigger?
I kind of forgot about Sin Devil Trigger for that fight. I don't know how. I remembered the very next fight, but I was just like, it's a Cerberus. I don't need that.
Cerberus is fun. I beat him on Son of Sparta just a little bit before recording this without doing that. And you learn all of his attacks and get to enemy step above him. It's a lot of fun. I don't like his ice needle attack.
Yeah, that is just like, get out.
It's
get
annoying.
out fast.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about, and I sort of touched on this a little while ago, but since it was something Bob and I talk about with 4 before this game came out, I'm interested in discussing it with 5. You know, we were talking about things inherited from prior games, and 4, as Bob has said multiple times, and it's frustrating to him, takes a lot of enemies from 1, and in a lot of ways resembles 1, where in a strange way. 5 does that with enemies from all of them, but for some reason it's not as frustrating. Bob, do you have any thoughts on that?
They look way better, and they have different things they do.
Yeah, like actually having different moves and looking good, like looking like a new gen.
Right. It helps.
And also, Blitz
and
is
is
in
there-
this game. Thank God.
Wait, what isn't?
Blitz. He's
Which
the worst
ones?
enemy in Devil May Cry 4. He's the giant lizard that's electrocuted, so you have to shoot
Yeah,
him
okay,
until he's
but-
all electrocuted.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's still
fuck those things.
there's still a functionally equivalent enemy, which is the fucking teleporting assholes.
No, that's
Like they feel like the same thing to me.
they're similar energy, but oh my God, they're not Blitz. Blitz is trash. It's literally just stand there and shoot him, or do this really cool trick where you're playing as Dante and you time your double
And you
trigger just
royal
right.
guard. I thought you were
time
talking about the royal guard because you can royal guard walking into him.
You time your double trigger perfect with the sure you can, and it'll knock his electricity off immediately.
Bob, the term is distorted real impact.
I'm sorry. You use your distorted real impact and time. God, the community has a special name for when you
Yeah, of course
activate
they-
double trigger
course they
as soon as you hit an enemy in 4.
Distortion. It's called distortion. It's a weird
It is
glitch
just
where it's just called distortion, and when you hit an enemy with it, it makes the attack count twice, once as non-DT'd and once as DT'd.
Okay. I didn't know it was actually a glitch. It's just something I had to learn to deal with 4.
Let's not talk about 4 anymore. Who wants to talk
The
about
big
something?
uppercut in 5, though, feels so good.
Yeah, no, all the punch weapon is good in this one,
yeah.
unlike Gilgamesh.
If you DT with it and you have Devil Sword Sparta equipped, the swords will buzzsaw the enemy while you're charging it and hold them in place.
Oh, that's good. I need to do more DTing.
And a lot of the bosses have big stun states, like where Urizen will drop to his knee and I just get up in his face with Balrog and I'm like, I'm going to do this giant uppercut to your face.
Yeah, no, it's like in 3. It feels really good.
And now I realize they all have those stun states because Nero has to be able to buster them when Bloody Palace comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going through the game again, like every Nero boss, I tried out his buster moves, and Artemis has one of the really good ones where he just sticks the sword in her mouth and just starts igniting it and just
Yeah, and you can hit the
going
L2 button to just keep igniting it more. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody found out that when they go into that state, you can charge the Overture Mine, hit them with the Overture Mine, buster them, and the mine detonates at the end of the buster.
I bet that it has the same thing 4 has, where if you go double trigger while doing those animations, you can mash the shoot button to shoot summon swords into them. I think that's bad, but
I didn't realize that.
I need to double check it.
But yeah, I
I'm
ended
pretty
up
sure that'll be
using the
bad.
Overture thing against Virgil on Son of Sparta, and you just see the mine beeping faster and faster during the cutscene, and eventually just blows up.
That's great.
It's really good. I wanted to go through some of the bosses here since we kind of focused on a lot of the end game ones,
Yeah.
but they had a lot of bosses throughout the game.
I have to wonder if it's as many as 3.
There, in total, the game lists 19 bosses.
Yeah, but that has
But
some
there's
weird
obviously-
duplicates.
Yeah.
Here's another big thing where the game is like so much more complete than the others. The only mission that doesn't end on some kind of big fight that feels like a natural climax to the mission is Diverging Point V, I think. I don't think it ends on a big thing. You kind of get your big thing at the very start of that mission.
Oh, that's the one where he's you do the 3 fights, 3 bosses.
It's a narrative cliffhanger where he runs into Malphas and then has to hide, and then Nero shows up.
Yeah, because you had a big battle with some strong enemies right before that.
So I want to point out those enemies that you fought because it's one of the funniest things to me. So they make you fight Artemis, Goliath, and Cavalier Angelo again, and the game doesn't call them the same bosses because Itsuno said that you do not fight Goliath as V in the normal game, and you do, but he's Mirage Goliath. And Mirage Artemis, and not Mirage Cavalier, Miragio Angelo.
Oh,
They
man.
also have way less health.
Yes.
It's like some weird Italian spaghetti Angelo.
It is the Olive Garden of naming enemies.
What's the Red Lobster?
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to spend too much time thinking about that now, so thank you for putting that in my brain.
I am really excited for Bloody Palace because I want to see what the Buster animation on Cavalier Angelo is, because on the shield guys and the sword guys, it's a side suplex, and if you're DT'd, it's a brain buster. and I want to see what bullshit Kinnikuman wrestling move Nero breaks out for Cavalier Angelo, because he does a Kinnikuman move called the Napalm Stretch on Agnes in DMC4 if you do it devil triggered.
Yeah,
where he like jumps into the air and does like a descending slam spinning.
I think someone posted a video on Twitter a long while ago of like Tiger wrestling, like this super old Japanese wrestling thing. It was like, all of these, there's things that were in Devil May Cry 4. That's weird.
That's great. I do think the funny thing about Bloody Palace is it was originally introduced in Devil May Cry 2, where it's like the actual content of the single player is dog shit, so we need this to fill out the game and feel good. This entire story mode is so fillerless and polished, it's just gonna be great to do Bloody Palace with it because all of the mechanics are hyper polished.
I think Bloody Palace is gonna be some shit this time, because one of my friends bought the red orbs because he's like, I just want all the red orbs. I'm just going to buy 2 packs of red orbs. That's $4. I get 200,000. And he said, it explicitly says these orbs do not go into Bloody Palace. Which is weird and makes me think that you're just going to start from 0 at Bloody Palace.
Oh god, it has its own progression system.
I think it might have its own progression system, and I think it might have a lot of weird mechanics.
Yeah, I just hope it's not like 4 with the timer that's constantly going.
I think it might be like how they released that almost like the roguelike for RE2.
Oh, where it's weird remix
with the other survivors, and it's like some zombies have backpacks, and if you kill a zombie with a backpack, you get more items.
Yeah, they could go lots of crazy directions with Bloody Palace.
Like they turn it into a weird roguelite.
Man, that'd be weird. I hope they do like a standard classic mode and then whatever they want. But I'd want...
Because I imagine they'll be like, no, you don't get to go in with 10 DT and 20 health.
Damn.
Fuck you.
So that boss fight with the lady inside of the creature. That boss fight was dope as hell, but I completely wrecked that boss's face in a way where I was like, okay, did they consider the first boss needs to be like ignoring Yuri's and owning you in the prologue? The first boss needs to be kind of hard, and then this one's cakewalk? Did anyone else have trouble with that boss? Did that?
I almost died the first time.
Okay.
For which boss?
The one with lady inside that's shooting lasers. Artemis. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't really have a problem with it. I just couldn't get my style rank up very well. I just kept getting hit by random stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing with her is it's more about learning the mechanic of using the snatch, getting closer to her, using that,
and dodging moves via jumping or even side rolling.
Right, like that.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh is the one that you can sleepwalk through.
Yeah, that's the weirdly easiest boss maybe in the whole series. It's strange.
It's also its own mission for some reason.
Yeah,
I feel like it might have started to something bigger with
it's because it's like a set piece boss,
right?
Yeah,
I have to wonder if it was originally supposed to be something with 2 players actually interacting each other together to beat this thing, and then they're like had to strip it out.
It's a really weird mission too, because that transition to V, like that transition to V being underground as the hole opens up, and he's like, "What? Did you think you were doing it by yourself?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, literally." You just opened a hole just now. I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? What is with this cutscene and the transition into it?
Just another way to say that, everyone's like working together in the story in a way.
The game's really about family.
Like having that interaction. Yes, this is the Fast and the Furious of the video games. This is it right here.
A little bit, but
just a little. Nero's Rock.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think we can bring this together. I don't know if it was just Son of Sparta, but when I was going through Gilgamesh again, I noticed that when you get to the top of it, it would like bubble and do the spikes.
Yeah.
But in that run, particularly, it started doing half of it more than just the whole thing. So it would reward you for being able to switch to the other side so you could stay on it more.
I clowned on it really hard because it's like, I'm going to do the whole spikes and then flip over, so you have to get off. And I'm like, no, I don't. I have triple jump and a hover.
Yep, and then the best part is when it gets knocked down, you have that V cutscene, you get back on it, and then you buster that thing with the arm or the post-game buster, and you just start punching the shit out of his head.
Did either of you Buster Malphus? Because it's like, damn, Nero, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, I know, it's good.
Like, I brought Buster Arms for that mission, and I'm like, oh, you're just kicking the shit out of her.
He just kicks the shit out of her and then drowns her in her own darkness pool.
That's raw.
And then somebody's going to be like, Mr. Field, why are you okay with that and not the woman getting shot in the womb and DMC Devil May Cry?
You just want to bring up DMC Field. Stop it.
No, because I know somebody's going to make that. I'm going to be like, because
no one cares.
Somebody does. They have a check mark. You know they care.
No check mark can listen to a podcast. They're afraid.
Somebody got really mad at the part in the ending of Nico telling Nero if he cries he's a little bitch. That genuinely upset somebody.
But she's being abrasive and jokey.
That's her entire personality. She's trying to be the tomboyish older sibling, like his sister.
And then she still walks it back.
Yeah.
She's like, no, actually, it's fine.
Yeah, that's who she is. This isn't like a statement that's sincere. That was a good
comedy bit.
I don't get it.
I really enjoyed that.
By the way, KZ, that guy who was really confrontational on Twitter about rating DMC5 badly, he gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I was like, oh god, guys, shut up and play Devil May Cry 5, please.
Oh man, are you telling me that whole thing was a marketing gimmick to get people to click that review? If only someone on this podcast had said exactly that.
We gotta own them, though.
Talking about people who really like DMC and maybe don't love Devil May Cry 5, I know a guy locally. He thought DMC was good. It was maybe the only good Devil May Cry. Him and a friend of his agreed that all of the Devil May Cry games were like overblown Onimusha games. I did not want to inquire as to what that meant. I just read it.
I was about to ask you, what the fuck does that mean?
See,
Bob
I knew
just sound like you gotta chill.
I knew you were curious, and I too was curious, but I wasn't going to engage. I was just going to move along. So that guy, he beat DMC5 this morning, and this is the post I get to read on Facebook. Okay,
is this like Kingdom Hearts 3 with that Joss Whedon review?
No.
Am I going to tell you to drown him after this?
In a pool of his own darkness?
Finished Devil May Cry 5. That was pretty good. I wasn't really interested in the beginning, but after that cutscene, it becomes great. Now I can never look at the reboot the same way anymore. Sad face.
Good.
Holy shit, the unthinkable has happened. This game was so good, it converted someone who liked DMC.
Jim Sterling was the biggest dickhead in the world about that reboot. He was fucking the smuggest. And even he's like, no, this is the best one. 5's the best one by a fucking mile. It's not even a contest. And I'm like, good. They made a good game and everyone recognizes.
Yeah, sometimes you're just so good that even the haters gotta admit you did it right.
The haters will see you cut space with the Yamato and leave and be like, he can't afford a car.
Oh, no.
When you
That's
only
what
have
Hero's saying
$7.
is Virgil leaves.
Yep.
That bum of a dad of mine, he can't even afford a car. Look at him go out. Oh.
I'm so disappointed in my dad who cuts holes in dimensions.
Does anybody else think it's fucking insane how Virgil just threw Nero hard enough to rip his arm off?
Yeah, no, that ludicrous.
Was the funniest shit.
I cannot understand how in his weakened state, he's just like, fuck you, give me your arm.
That was a very Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament moment where he is just holding that dude's arm.
I don't
that was raw and amazing.
The only thing in this game that makes me even a little bit, and this is like the stupidest I've watched too much Dragon Ball and need to shut the fuck up thing that has ever popped into my head, where it's like, why does Dante get blown the fuck out by Urizen and then turn into Sin Devil Trigger and can not only body Urizen but also body super powered ate the fruit of might Urizen, but then Virgil shows up and is just equally as powerful.
Because then he gets his whole human heart back.
Yeah, so let me.
He woke up to justice.
Did Virgil also have the fruit power up?
Yeah, of course. Because Urizen was insanely powerful. It just so happened he was on the verge of death. So when they recombined, he had enough power to bring back Virgil at his full height of power, you know? Virgil brimming with energy. Because as it turns out, Demon Him sure did suck up a lot of blood via that fruit.
Demons are Saiyans.
Go on.
They literally are, because it's like Dante and Virgil are both explicitly way stronger than Sparta now.
Oh, you mean because they're half-blood? Well, I don't know if we necessarily know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Neither of them been like, you know what I woke up to today? Justice.
The text appears in that old font.
So one thing that I think we need to address real quick. Where does Devil May Cry go after this? Because I have a very clear idea of where it should go.
I feel like you have a different idea from the last time you had a very clear idea about where it goes from here.
Right. There's definitely not a dynamic with V.
Well, I was completely wrong.
That might be the biggest L of them all.
I thought that was obvious. They have a whole new gameplay style, and they're like, this is going to be the last thing with Virgil.
They're like,
and Dante.
Devil May Cry 6 is going to be the adventures of Nero and V.
I'll hold that. And I'm not saying this is where I think it go. I'm saying this is where I'd like it to go. So even if I'm wrong, this isn't an L.
Okay.
I'm not owned. Okay, Virgil.
Yeah, exactly. They need to break this arc with the next one. They need to make DMC0.
What even is
have
that?
To play as Sparta.
God, no.
Sparta
Please,
fighting
no.
Mundus.
I hate that.
That'd be great.
That's something I keep hearing fans say. I'm like, that's the last thing I want. I
saw someone make a pitch for DMC0 this week, and it sounded so bad where they're like, it needs to be the atmosphere of one. It needs to be grim. We get rid of the style meter in this. There's levels.
No.
And I'm like, I'm dying. I'm turning into a skeleton.
Real quick though, Feel, not trying to call you out for being a hypocrite or inconsistent. I'm literally just talking to you about this. I'm sorry it's in a recorded format. Haven't you yourself agreed with Bob and my stance that prequels will always completely disappoint?
No, I've said that prequels do very specific things, and if DMC0 is 2,000 years in the past, it can't do those things. Sparta can't walk into and go, hello there, young black child, and then the black child's mom is like, come along, Morrison. Like, that can't happen.
No, he's white.
Yeah, it can. That can all happen.
It's a young white child, which makes it even more confusing.
I feel like that sort of bullshit fan service is the whole reason prequels exist. It's that sick part of the human brain that's like, look, I need an explanation for this. And when the explanation for this is literally, like, what was it? There's some prequels out there where it's like, and then everyone gets left at exactly where they need to be for the next game, which is the first game in the series. We just literally...
Yes, there are those, but then there's also Yakuza 0, which is incredible and is like the only good prequel in history.
I mean, Devil May Cry 3 is pretty great.
Did you just hear... Yeah, I mean, Devil May Cry 3.
I forgot about Devil May Cry 3. I forget 1.
It's fair to understand. It's fair to not think about the timeline early on because Devil May Cry 3 came out 14 years ago. So, you know, it's been a while since it was new ground in the timeline backwards. But yeah, I feel like prequels.
I just think it'd be weird. I just think it'd be weird if they immediately go like, okay, here's another adventure with Nero, which I want, but it just feels weird to have a big conclusion and then go immediately into that without some kind of break.
Don't worry. I mean, it's going to be at least 6 years before we get anything else.
Right. I mean, the next game Itsuno's working on is Dragon Dogma 2.
Yeah, he says, I got the chance to make either this or Dragon's Dogma 2. I made this, so now... And now they announced the Netflix anime for Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, Netflix anime for Dragon's Dogma and the RE engine apparently can be used for all this shit. So it's like, hell yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 on the fucking RE engine. You're blowing my mind.
I mean, there's a chance that they'll let someone else work on it. It's not Itsuno.
I mean, there is a chance of that, but nah.
What if V was like a prototype for the Summoner in Dragon's Dogma 2?
Yeah, maybe. I could see them totally do that. That'd be really good.
I really want a Dragon's Dogma 2. You want to know why? I've never played Dragon's Dogma, and I hated the letterbox thing, and I also hated how it didn't.
You can get the.
I hated how it didn't run at 60 frames per second.
Updated versions. You can get the updated versions.
Yeah, the updated versions fix a lot of that. I just never found the time to go and play those versions. But every time I see the game and during our quick play and stuff like that, like Dragon's Dogma was really fucking dope.
It's like it's a good game, but it's like, boy, that you're almost as unfinished as DMC4.
Yeah, no, it's rough in areas. Dark Arisen
That
helps
was-
it, but not entirely.
The 360 gen was not a good gen for Japan.
Or we can end that sentence sooner. It wasn't a good
It wasn't a good gen at all, but especially not for Japan. Look, I'm saying that I made that distinction because the Japanese side of the industry recovered.
Right. The thing is, like, that was the peak of the Western development end of the world, and then by the time this gen got started, they cannibalized the whole fucking industry, basically. Ugh, it's great.
So I like ranking things. So I thought what we could do is
Each of us express how good each one is.
Each of us express what our 2, maybe 3 favorite boss fights are in the game.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we need to rank all the Devil May Cries.
Well, that's not a ranking. It goes 5, 3, 1, 4, 2.
Yeah, that checks out.
But I thought we would rank like 2 to 3 of our favorite bosses that we'd like to go back to that aren't Virgil.
3 seems good.
Yeah. So I thought that would be
Real quick, I want to say what I think that series should be going forward.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead,
yeah.
Bob.
Go ahead.
I'm eager to hear your take.
Because I feel like there's too much complexity lost if they just go full Nero. Like, they'd be crazy just to make them a Nero game. That's not what people or who wanted sequel Devil May Cry want. That's not what the developers want. I feel like that's a cool, different thing. But we could totally see another game with Dante and Nero, or maybe even with Dante, Nero, and Virgil all working together. Heck, there might even be DLC where it's just Nero and Dante, and that separate DLC pack was it's Lady and Trish.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if it'll be DLC or if it'll be like March 2020, and they're just like, or not 2020, 2021. It's just like DMC5 special edition for PS5 and Xbox 2.
Right, they could do that. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Because I feel like making Lady and Trish would be a little bit too intensive to just be DLC.
Right, like they have a basis for
Because like
Lady.
with Virgil, they already
like Trish doesn't even have the Sparta anymore. Like, you need to fill out a whole new moveset, and I think that could be really cool, because just making a character that's all shooting lightning could be really good.
But also, they have to use the most expensive mocap studio in the world to make these characters.
Yeah,
although
right.
I guess they wouldn't have to go that hard for Lady and Trish.
Right, because they already got them.
Meanwhile, with Virgil, they already have like his moves from being a boss that they can just turn into playable character moves.
So, I always believe in this game creates a feeling that you want filled, a need, and then the next one fills it. Kind of like with Kingdom Hearts 3, we were talking about the successor to that. It's probably going to deliver on maybe some of the things you wanted to have happen in that one just from set piece or worlds you travel to sort of end. So I think the next Devil May Cry game is going to invent a whole new character that's going to be a counterpart to Nero. It's going to be some sort of demon lady.
I want the new character to be like the Virgil version of Nero, because Nero doesn't have a rival.
I don't think he needs a rival, but I do think we need Nico, Nero, and something that would actually be breaking new ground, a strong female protagonist to the series that isn't a DLC add-on or a re-release pack-in.
We already have that. Lucia's going to come back.
You stop that. You stop that right now.
Just bring in a girl. She can be some awesome girl that has a scythe with a gun attached to it, like Jetstream Sam.
And maybe, has power to transform into a bird lady.
Stop bringing up Lucia.
Itsuno should just steal the gimmick from the Jetstream Sam DLC, because that's a DMC gimmick that somehow ended up in the wrong game.
It's almost like Platinum is made of people who used to work on Devil May Cry.
I know, but Platinum doesn't really go into the style thing so much. It has their games have more of an arcade mentality. And meanwhile, Jetstream Sam is like, taunt the enemy and they get stronger and you get a damage buff.
So really the reason I think it needs to be a whole new character is just because, yes, Lady already exists, but you don't get to reinvent the gameplay by having it be Lady.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because Lady's fucking awesome. She's really damn cool.
I would like the idea of introducing a new female character and have that be like the character you start with, even and kind of give Nero
That'd be
the
cool.
the
That'd be
Dante
cool.
slot of like
Yeah.
midway through the game or a little bit later into the game past the intro. Then they're like, oh man, it's the classic character Nero.
somehow it's Mundus's daughter.
Stop! Don't already.
We gotta have this. It needs to happen.
I love the very quick shift of emotions from KZ there. Stop! No, wait, already?
It was
I have infected
stop.
everyone.
Also, are we doing a gamer premonitions on DMC6 right now?
No, they have to announce it. Once they announce it, it's real.
Then it's a real premonitions video. But yeah, I don't expect another Devil May Cry for quite a while.
Yeah. Which is okay.
I think it'll be
it's fine.
I think it'll be sooner than the last one.
I should hope
So
it's
it
not
won't-
10 years.
Yeah, so it won't
Even
be 10 years.
counting DMC Devil May Crap as the last one, it will still be sooner than that. I think it'll be sooner than 2025.
I don't. I feel like 2025 is about when I expect it.
Same.
Like,
Because Dragon's Dogma is going to take a bit.
yeah.
It's a big game.
I think Capcom will be like, we should probably teach other people how to make games other than these three guys. So if they get hit by a bus, we aren't just fucked.
Yeah, that would be wise.
Right,
And yet, I've
he-
never seen that go well except for the Mario franchise, where Odyssey was handled by the guy who did 3D Land.
Are they gonna handle Itsuno the same way they do Miyamoto, where Nintendo drives him everywhere and he doesn't go alone?
Well, first he needs to make Dragon's Dogma, then he needs to somehow save their fighting game side, and then
No, you know what? I'd be fine with the current state of fighting games. I'd be fine to sacrifice that.
I would
Fucking
too, honestly.
Okay, good.
Summon the eclipse, and the fighting game section dies so Itsuno can join the God Hand, and
Yeah,
that's
like-
fine.
Bob
I
and
mean, I kind of want the fighting games to come back because every single fucking time we start going, oh man, Capcom's doing so well, they're back. Someone's like, the fighting game division has some problems, and I think we need to mention that every time a good Capcom game comes out.
At the same time, though, I love the Bob defense of like Street Fighter V was heavily developed by someone other than Capcom's internal team, so we're not talking
yeah, so
about.
was Street Fighter 4.
Oh, wasn't
Yeah, it
it
was
Dimps?
Dimps.
Oh, Street Fighter 4
Yeah.
was Dimps 100%.
Yeah, Dimps is
5
still on 5, though.
Yeah, so I think we should, every time someone says that, I go, sorry, excuse me, I was talking about Capcom developed games, not Capcom released games. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to see what a Capcom fighting game looks like with a proper budget and a proper amount of time to make it.
And maybe using the RE engine. I want to see that.
I want
insanity.
everything on the RE engine, to be honest. Just put everything on it.
The funny thing is, like,
Make it Capcom's Frostbite only good.
I mean, the thing is, like, in certain ways, the RE engine and how it works makes it a lot easier for their games to keep coming out on it, kind of like the NT framework did, or MT framework did back in the day. So
Good old Mega Man trigger framework. That wasn't a knife in my heart every time I remembered it.
Oh my god.
Is that what it
that's
was?
what it means?
That's what MT stands for, the Mega Man trigger framework.
The corpse framework?
Well, I can see why they moved on.
True, Resident Evil will not die. Might as well
Yeah.
call it the bulletproof engine.
They can literally just keep releasing Hollywood movies and it'll be okay.
The Mila Jovovich engine.
Yes.
Those movies are done. The curse is over.
They are
Yeah,
hilarious
Monster
and
Hunter
great.
has been hit now.
Yeah, now she has to be in Monster Hunter, although I'm not convinced that movie will do as well as Resident Evil because it doesn't have normie appeal.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm excited for it.
True, zombies were hot.
For like 2 decades, yeah.
This has nothing to do with Devil May Cry, but Days Gone comes out in a month.
That's a video game.
I'll be glad to talk about it on the Big Think Dimension.
Allegedly.
You're right, allegedly.
So, I think does anybody else have anything about DMC5? Because, boy, we went on.
We had that boss segment that I proposed that we kind of got lost track on.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, so I thought that we could pick 3 bosses that we enjoy that we'd like to go back to that aren't Virgil, because I assume that would be the top for everybody.
The top 2 for everybody.
Yep.
So I'll start since nobody's volunteering.
Yep.
I really like Yuri's in Forma Perfection.
Mission 17 euros then, yeah.
He's so goofy. He's like he's like a tyrant.
Yes.
Yeah.
RE.
Yeah.
Because he's got the big eye. He has the eyeballs in the mouth all over his body.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's really goofy when he's like doing Street Fighter moves on you when he's 20 feet tall, and like Dante's just enemy stepping on his face, going and stabbing him as he's like trying to karate low kick him, and it's not working out. But that fight was fun because he has a lot of attacks with very distinct telegraphs.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, fuck that fireball. I hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that if he starts to do the fireball and you jump over him, it will go through him backwards?
I didn't even know you could throw a fireball.
It's that same fireball from the throne fight where it's the Goliath one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
shoots
they
it.
just give him every move from all the main bosses.
Yeah, he can do that. And if you're like, no, I'm just going to jump behind you and fuck you up, it goes behind him, through him, and fucks you.
That's hilarious.
And you have to kind of dodge all his things in different ways, which is really interesting. After that, I really like Artemis because, once again, you're jumping and sliding through these weird lasers. And then she has the grapple points that she throws out. And I also... Cavalier Angelo is like the runner-up, though. Cavalier Angelo is probably my favorite boss other than Virgil.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun because he's like a micro Virgil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Nello Angelo is back.
Yeah. I really like that. I always enjoy those types of fights.
And you can and he's really good for using Royal Guard on because he has these big heavy telegraphed slashes, so Dante can just stand there boomer posing and parrying all the slashes. It's incredible the difference in energy of Dante as like a young guy doing the forearms Royal Guard pose to Dante is like a 50-year-old man with a beard, just like going, swinging his arms around.
I think it's still just the same energy. He still emanates it somehow. He's just like, no, I'm still 20, I swear.
So those are my 3 picks.
I feel like personally, I need to give King Cerberus more of a chance. I need to go back and fight him some more because I found his fight really interesting, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it per se. I did enjoy the Urizen Perfection fight, but maybe not because it's good. Maybe because I just fucking owned him. Like
You just like winning.
it's just it
Dan
was so
loves
fun.
being strong.
It's the boss arena being a shattered representation of a memory he can't actively recall. Like that is so fucking cool as a set piece, and it's shattering as they fight. It's also something about we tried to make a boss fight with a dude who's 15 feet tall, and like as you were saying earlier, he moves around like he's a tyrant. He's almost Belmont walking, like he's upset. Like his stride has this real anger to it that is just enjoyable.
It's
5'11" versus 6 foot.
It's also like, it's so weird to be playing a game that is so gorgeous and immaculately polished visually to have a goofy hack at this giant's ankles boss fight.
Yeah, like I'm sitting there in midair just motorcycling him in the face going, yeah, and he's kicking underneath me, being like, why can't I touch him? It's just, it's fucking, it's like one of the goofiest fights in the game.
It's like,
but I
this
really
is bullshit. This is bullshit. That Redfield guy can't jump like this.
This is horse crap. Leon would know how to treat me. Dante, that doesn't count.
Please,
This doesn't
Leon, please fuck Virgil.
as Yuri said, he's just yelling, this doesn't count. It's not fair.
It's not canon. I didn't stream it.
I'm not owned. But yeah, I really enjoyed that fight.
Virgil has his own supercut where he only shows kicking Dante's ass.
Yes.
Dante leaves a comment like, this is bullshit. I won half of those. And Virgil's like, that's not what the video shows. It's 0.45, my favor.
He's like, Nico counted from the van. She posted these statistics. I'm just going to share them here. But yeah, it's
Virgil's stream banner is him sitting in the tree throne that he makes.
It's kind of hard to think of. Like, I enjoy the Urizen in his chair fights. Like him and his throne is fun, but it's really weird to be like, what a great fight when it's the boss is sitting still and it's a crystal flying around.
Right, like I felt like those were the weakest fights to me. Like they didn't.
However,
the giant mech.
the satisfaction.
Oh, other than the giant mech.
Go
The
up
giant
that
mech, I can't-
throne.
Yeah.
The giant quadruped is absolutely the worst fight. Which isn't to say it's garbage and cheap and all that stuff. It's just uninspired, not very eventful.
Which one's the giant quadruped?
Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Okay, you mean Gilgamesh because he has like 8 legs.
Does he have 8? I thought it was 4.
He has at least 6, I think.
I only
might
thought
be
4,
wrong.
but I don't know.
Maybe he has 4.
I'd say my least favorite boss in the entire game is Nidhogg. Just because that arena just doesn't seem big enough and all parts of it are way too close to each other. And the target switch just doesn't work in this game half the time. So
Yeah,
it's just a mess.
I think it just doesn't work if you're moving because it needs the stick to be centered.
I really would. Another thing that I hope is coming in a patch is like, let me bind target switch to something else, please.
Also, whenever you try to dodge, like your natural dodge with V is going to be the one where he's helped by Shadow, which then moves Shadow to you, which means he's not in the back trying to kill the part.
Yes, but at the same time, I understand why that's frustrating, but at the same time, it's also a way for you to help him not get hit. So I understand both ends of like why you would want that and also why it's frustrating.
I feel like it shouldn't have been the first boss for V.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
Bob, you were saying that you actually died to that boss,
yeah,
right?
that one I got stuck on a little bit. Like that's the first point in the game I died.
My emotional state at that point was, is every V fight going to be this cheesecake? Because I had no problems with him.
Yeah, that was my fault because I pumped up both summons and dropped Nightmare and just mashed and they tore him to shreds.
Yeah, I got through the entire first round of his phases with basically no hits or anything on me. In fact, I didn't take a single hit through the first round. It was only the second round when things started to get kind of close. And at the end, I think I was like 2 hits from dying. But I was like, man, that was really easy. I feel like that boss fight didn't challenge me. But yeah, no, that was the first boss fight, the first moment in the game even where I became aware that if you're moving, you can't change what you're targeting because you need to not be pushing the analog stick in a direction and click L3.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was the case. I just relied on the
God damn it.
releasing R1 and then clicking the analog stick towards the enemy I'm on target and hitting R1. And usually that
that's another way to do it. That's another way to do it. But yeah, I feel like I put Gilgamesh below that because even though Gilgamesh is a good epic moment and it's like a real set piece thing, it kind of makes me think of Burial from 4, where it's like, yeah, he sure is destroying these houses, but this fight is kind of like not that.
I don't know. Burial is a lot more active. I feel like he's closer to a real boss.
He's closer to.
I feel like I'm engaging with Gilgamesh way more than I was engaging with Burial, which was slash at him when he's dark, buster him. With this, you're dodging around, you're hitting those nodes, you're going up, you're trying to dodge the spikes that generate. Sometimes you're up on the buildings.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. For me, I kind of put the both on the same level of like technically impressive, a couple of gimmick ideas, but I don't think either are especially strong. So I think if I were to rank a worse boss fight in this, probably Gilgamesh. Was it Feel who was saying it's probably Nidhogg or KZ?
I was saying for me, Nidhogg. I just don't. It would be Nidhogg or what this lists as the first boss, Clifot Roots. From mission 1.
That's not a boss. That's mission 1.
I didn't mind that boss. I mean, I wouldn't rank it low.
Actually,
it's just
whatever.
like,
Dante must Bible. That thing killed me.
Okay.
What? You got owned by a tree?
Yeah, no, it was bad.
I got owned by a bonsai. Help!
Really, it was.
Bob, that's a stick.
Come on, Bob.
That's fucking great. Dante Must Die is that fucking strong.
It's not even that bad. It's really just it summons an extra enemy, and that enemy went Devil Trigger. And so I was just trying to fight the Clifots rule, and then that thing hit me.
That's fucking hilarious.
I still love that they list the enemies at the end of missions as bosses too. So
right,
yes, Scudo Angelo, Proto Angelo, and Nobodies count as bosses.
And Parmigiano Reggiano Angelo.
I'm sorry, it's Miraggio.
Or Tortellino.
Come on down to Devil May
Angelino.
Come on down to Devil May Cry. Eat with our family.
I feel like that has to be a joke about
Soup,
Neil
salad, and
Angelo being a
breadstick.
mistake.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to be Nero Angelo, guys. If
Yeah.
you don't know.
Yeah. But Bob, who's your weakest boss? Who do you think is the weakest
The weak
boss?
one, I mean, it's definitely Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh? Okay.
Like, I don't like the chair fights. I feel like they don't have a lot going on with them, but they're not Gilgamesh. Like,
Yeah.
Gilgamesh,
At
I
least
felt
there's
almost brain dead.
at least my brain has to be active during the chair fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have to jump over lasers and not get hit by the Artemis rain.
Yeah, see, I really like the Artemis Rain and the sweeping lasers and other parts about it, and the slowdown, the Quicksilver bubble. Like, I like how it's a stationary enemy that sits at one end, but so is Cerberus from Devil May Cry 3, and that's
I think
interesting.
The thing about it being a stationary enemy that just sits there is he doesn't move much himself. Like, there's just an invisible shield around him you're hitting, and that he's using a bunch of moves that other enemies have. Like, it just feels like nothing that special to himself.
It's a cool culmination type of boss that you fight in the very beginning, and there's a really satisfying feeling when you're fighting this chair boss and you break the shield and you use Buster on him and you're just punching his dick.
I kind of wish that there was like an actual full boss version of him before like semi-perfect Urizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really
'cause-
like that form.
Because you come in with Sin Devil Trigger and you can just shred a bunch of his health before that fades the first time.
Yeah, I think it's a really neat form though. Like he's like shooting the tentacles at you, and you have to dodge around those.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
same.
Like I'm perfect now, so I lost my hard to follow tentacles and will just try to kick you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is a strange.
That's why I enjoyed it, because it's so awkward. He's like, I'm so strong. And I'm like, dude,
It's the weighted clothing.
you're like a teenager who just got a growth spurt. You're like, I'm so strong now, bumps head on cabinet.
My mom says I'm handsome, and he's this like 7'1" lanky white kid who's on the basketball team just 'cause he's tall.
He becomes a really tall V.
It's like the blue alien from Space Jam.
Oh no, God, the V being giant and blue is really hilarious.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Boy, James Cameron's really going hard with Avatar 3.
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous. I didn't have anywhere else to put this, so I guess I'll talk about it here. Do you think when they make a next Devil May Cry game, we're gonna like rescue Dante from the inside of a devil, and he's gonna be nude and covered in slime? Do we get that, or like what do you guys think
feel like-
the future of slime-covered protagonists is?
I mean, personally, I think that because he's a male character, that they might not do that.
Oh, weird. I'm not getting that vibe.
Maybe.
I
I
feel like-
think that's entirely possible. I think like something comes and beats up Virgil and Dante and puts them in suits, and Nero has to fight them is like a very natural place for escalation to go.
Yeah.
Right, it's totally possible. I feel like we
'Cause
need
we-
the DLC where we get shirtless Dante.
Yes. Holy shit. Shirtless Dante would be
We've
amazing.
never fought Dante for real, other than that bad fight in 4.
Yeah, that fight in 4 is so bad, and that's why I'm afraid of them ever doing it again.
Yeah, that's
And I would say you were right, Dan, but V exists in this and is one of the most sexualized characters I've ever seen.
apparently the fan base went fucking ravenous for him. It's weird.
There is already a nude mod out for V.
Of course.
I don't think the dev
That's
team
prob-
expected this.
I feel like
honestly.
that's faster than Ada.
I'm curious, guys. Favorite cutscene? I'm gonna go ahead and give my soft number one, and then I'm gonna give it a second to see if I can think of a better number one.
All right.
This scene after the Gilgamesh fight, where they're like, Nico goes, "Pick that up for me," and Nero bends down to pick up like a can of sliced peaches. She's like, "No, that."
It's orange slices, I think. I think it's like canned orange slices.
It killed me. Where he's just like, this seems like a gag based on the previs, where it probably was like a can of something.
In
or
the previs, there is nothing else. They just point to something and he picks it up. And so that has to be during the mocap. Johnny on Basher, one of them just like, This?
Right? It's just, it kills me that they just have this joke of like, he just killed another demon and he thinks Nico wants this can of sliced oranges or peaches or something. That's killing me. It's so hilarious. But yeah, Bob, what's your favorite cutscene? You got to choose one. Sorry. I know there are like 50 in the game, but you got to choose just one.
There's so many good ones.
Is it van moments?
Van moments are amazing, especially the one where it explodes out of the ground.
That's one, and so is crushing in the roof and just landing.
The ground is more inexplicable, though.
It is.
I want to talk about that one van scene when you're trying to get Ura's V, trying to get Sparta, and then fucking Griffin steals his cane, and then out comes the van who just assaults the bird.
Yeah. No, it's great how everyone hates the bird. It's great how the van
Dante
also
just
hates the bird.
bird.
That's actually the only thing in the story I didn't like, is I would have liked Griffin to somehow stay and just like heckle Nero forever.
That could have been really good, yes. I'm trying, like, there's obviously like super emotional one near the end where Nero is on the phone with Kyrie. I thought that was really good. Like that.
They're doing it at a phone booth on a tree.
Yes.
It's so
A
hilarious.
half-dead phone booth.
Right, where he's just like, really, up here? And it's just a torn in half phone booth.
I love that because it's like they already established those phones still work. Go ahead, use it for a dramatic thing. I'm completely okay with that. I have a soul.
Also, real quick, can we talk about how everyone else's Devil Trigger, other than Nero's, looks like some Devilman stuff? And Nero's is straight up a JoJo's stand. Like he's literally that.
I think
that looks too
honestly,
close.
the immediate thought of the thing that I was most reminded of by his full Devil Trigger is that's a fucking Onimusha transformation.
Oh man, you're right. Those are stands.
It's also similar to his old hairstyle, only like with really long hair.
I mean, I didn't get a JoJo thing from it because it just has like angel wing fist arms.
Yeah, I mean, it has the separate angel arms, but then there's like the weird lines down the center of his chest, and something about that just makes me think
because he turns into like super Oni man. Like I'm very much reminded of like the Oni form of that stupid character in Dawn to Dreams.
Ah, yeah, Soki.
Dawn of Souls? No.
Dawn of Dreams, yeah.
Dawn of Dreams? Yeah, okay.
The eyes are very Onimusha.
Something I fucking loved that I found out while starting my second playthrough is when you get knocked over as Nero, you can mash R2, and enemies that are near you get punched in the fucking face by your spirit arms. That's fucking incredible.
Guess what? You can do that while you're breakering.
Oh, so you can like... well, how do you mean?
If you mash Buster while you're like hitting them with Helter Skelter or like or doing something like that.
Something more involved, yeah.
It'll just start punching them in the face.
That's so good. There's just something that feels amazing about getting knocked on your ass and then just being like, "No, fuck you!" It's just having fists fly out at them.
That's hilarious. I didn't even try that.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good because of course enemies are trying to come up on you and hit you while you're down, and you just start mashing R2 and punch them in the face.
It's probably like whenever Nero can't
move
Buster,
normally, yeah.
Yeah,
he'll do that.
It's really good. It's another layer of this game where it's just like, man, they thought of fucking everything.
Right.
But I just like the idea of like you're doing rawhide or something and a big fist is just kicking the shit out of this bug.
KZ, what's your favorite cutscene?
I was thinking about a lot of the ending cutscenes, that I think the final cutscene in the game is my favorite, where it's just so Dante and Virgil fighting.
Yeah.
And Virgil's like, where'd you learn to count? We're even. You don't have one up on me. And then that jackpot is just so good, and those bullets specifically are the ones that crack the screen in a different way than the other ones do normally for Dante. It was just really good.
It is incredible. It's really good. A lot of the character writing here is excellent. I do appreciate that. Every time Nico burns Nero's ass, or every time Nico talks about Lady being naked, is fucking hilarious to me, because she's just like, Kyrie ain't gonna be happy about this. Just wait till she finds out. And Nero's got this face of fuck. And then the part when in the van, like, Lady's just lying down on the couch, like covered whatever, and then Nico's like, damn, and she hot. And then Nero just gives her this look of like, what the fuck? And he's like, Well, I mean, like the character writing
During that mission transition, when Lady is still unconscious, there's just a looping shot of Nico considering, like, I could, like, touch her or something.
Nico is just
too afraid to do it.
Just straight up gawking.
So speaking of the van, some of the scenes, post-game scenes in the menu are really funny.
Yeah, they are amazing. Those are honestly some of my favorite.
Like, there's one where Virgil and Nero are just sitting next to each other, and Nero keeps, like, wiggling his Devil Breaker fingers and, like, looking over at Virgil.
The best part of that one is Virgil sitting there, like, you can tell by his face he's about to start a conversation, like, it never does.
Yeah, he's like trying to find the words. He's trying to find the words to say to his son. He's just like,
He's just like, sorry about your arm, son.
Sorry I ripped your arm off and still got my ass beat.
Here's something that somebody else had to point out to me. The reason you can buy new techniques and stuff from Nico is because she has a little statue on
She has a small goddess statue, yeah.
So you're not, when you buy new techniques, you're not actually buying them from her. You're using the statue.
The best thing for me, and I'm not sure how many people were looking at it and processed it quick enough for the reveal to even happen, or if it was just happening in the background because you're fucking with a menu, is her and the goddess statue are framed in a way where they look the same size. And it's not until she leans forward into the foreground and messes with it where it's like, oh, this is a composition joke where it's made to look way bigger than it is, because it's so close to the perspective. And then you find out, yeah, no, this thing's fucking tiny. It's like the size of her hand. Like that. There are so many small fucking details like that in this goddamn game. It's such a good game. No wonder it got a 40 out of 40 from the Kino boys. Can you fucking...
It was very touch and go. I thought you'd give it like a 6.
Oh, what am I, Jim Sterling, giving things reviews to outrage people? Come on.
Dan gives DMC5 a 6, and Bob...
I don't know. Like that Frozen episode.
Bob is just like, 1 second, guys, and we hear a gunshot.
And then Bob just goes, jackpot.
I like the one more cutscene thing. I like the part where Nero and Virgil and Dante both backhand Nero because he's like, "Hey guys, don't go," and they just both turn around and slap him. Like, nah, we got this.
They don't even turn around.
Yeah,
they don't even
just
turn
lean
around.
back.
Look at him. There's a bam,
bam. It's really good.
Which I thought was a good follow up to him slapping the shit out of Dante.
Yes.
Man, that in the live action previs is hilarious because it's a dude with white gloves standing behind Nero. It's so amazing.
I need to see how they articulate the wings being grown. Like as he's running up.
Oh man, the arm shot is so good. It's It's unreal. Because
the Cavalier, like, breaking Trish out of Cavalier was really good, where they had to, like, green screen in a footage of a woman, like, inside the dude's chest.
It's still really weird to me that, and I'm sure this won't be in Devil May Cry 6, probably, but it's just really weird how he's like, I'm gonna turn my new arm off so I can put a robot arm on it.
Yeah,
That's very strange.
He just phase shifts his arm into being devil energy, and then it goes into the robotic arm.
At first, I just assumed that she was giving him like a hollow arm that he could kind of fit in.
Yeah, I assumed it would be like a glove, but no.
Not at all. Like, this reacts to your devil energy.
I thought that in that cutscene it was a glove.
What cutscene? The end? You mean the end, Bob?
Yeah, the end where she shows him the thing. I could have sworn it was a slightly bigger design.
Nope.
No. He literally, his hand shifts back into blue energy.
Huh.
His arm turns blue and vanishes, and
because I saw that in the actual game, but I didn't think that. I thought that weird.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy because I expected that too. I expected it to fit over his normal human arm, but nope.
If you completely run out of Devil Breakers, he just has the arm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's weird that it's just a human arm. It's not like the Devil Bringer.
So we mentioned this a lot, but we didn't even talk about how fucking insane it is that they're just like, good job, you beat the game. Nero is now an entirely different character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Congrats, you can just do that. By the way, you can upgrade him and give him another jump. He can jump 4 fucking times.
I'm really happy because I was like, this is bullshit. The Buster Arm is my favorite one and it costs the most.
Yeah, isn't that fucking funny? They give that to you and they charge a shitload, and then on your second playthrough, it's like, hey, bud, guess what? You don't really need it.
Here's another complaint. Here's a very minor complaint, a very, very minor one. DLC breakers should not be randomly spawned in levels because they're jokes.
I feel like the only one I'm upset about finding is the Sweet Surrender. Like
that one's okay because sometimes you need health and you can just pop it for health.
Wait, is that what's up with Sweet Surrender? It's just health?
Yeah, it's just health.
You just charge it. You charge it and break it and it's health.
I'm the one guy on this podcast who doesn't have the deluxe.
Then if you use it normally, it's a small regen effect while it shakes up and down, you know.
Okay.
Also, after you beat the game, the Buster Arm should stop randomly spawning.
I feel like it might still have to do something different when you charge it. Like that might be better grab than your regular R2 grab.
I assume that has to be like just the maybe the Devil Trigger version.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Bob, what is your, since we're going to end this podcast by talking about our biggest like problems with the game. Okay, Bob, what is yours? Or do you want me to move to KZ?
Go ahead, move to KZ. I'll see if I can come up with something.
I've got it already.
Go.
They do not label whether you got all the blue orbs for the purple orb fragments in these fucking levels. Yes. I had to cross-reference my recording of me playing the game for the first time and like guides, and I still took like 3 hours to get
like
everything.
I said, I have one missing blue orb fragment, and I might as well just kill myself.
You're doomed. You're fucking doomed.
This is not as bad as, but it makes me think of, well, this problem with Devil May Cry 5 isn't quite as bad as the problem I had with Mario Odyssey, but it just makes me think of how I felt during that. Because in case you guys didn't know, the Mario Odyssey strategy guide / art book is really nice, really well made. But the problem is that it lists the things, the moons you can get in numerical order. The problem is the game, after you beat the game, inserts more moons for you to get in each world. So...
it's a Pokedex situation.
Yeah, you can look at you can look at like the numerical thing. You go to a world and it's just like, okay, I'm going to try to get this now. And it's like, go to this thing and do this. And I go there and I'm like, there's nothing there to do. And it wasn't until I got deep into the game that I fully came to terms with, this shit's literally, you just can't get it yet. You can't get this until you beat the game.
But there was cubes after you beat the game.
There was no like giant, hey, these moons aren't possible until later. Because I didn't use the strategy guide from the beginning. I only started using it at a certain point where my OCD went, man, it would feel good to get absolutely everything. But yeah, it's sort of like that, where it'd be like, you guys should have maybe come up with a couple extra things to make it less like number the fucking moons in a way where it's not intermixed, you know, where it's like these moons go here and then the post-game moons are these numbers.
I shotgunned Odyssey on launch day, and then I went, all right, let me just get everything. I kind of stopped at like 580 or something.
So I literally went through getting every moon possible on every planet. And then I beat the game, and then I didn't have time to play the game after beating it. So I didn't get any of the post-game moons, and I have not gone to the darker side of the moon or the darkest. So I need to go back for that. But this seems like one of those really frustrating things where it's like a little quality of life improvement would mean a hell of a lot to people trying to 100% this game.
That's kind of the only real problems I have with this game are little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just described my only issue with the game was just they don't label that, because otherwise I like every boss, like even Needhog, I find is fine. It's just, you know, if you're picking your lowest point, and everything in the game's fun. They don't repeat the content in a way that annoys me, which is in every other Devil May Cry game.
The closest is Diverging Point V, but since you don't fight those bosses as him, and also they have like a third of the health of a normal boss, it's fine.
See, here's the thing. I was actually, as my lowest point of the game or biggest complaint, I was going to say that mission, because they don't really explain what exactly happened. Like, what pocket dimension do you just slip into? What's up with that?
It seemed like Malthus threw him in there.
But then why would she throw him in there and then just walk off? That's kind of weird.
It seems like it's like Malthus's energy zone because it like heals him a little bit.
Yeah.
It also has like the weird rocks and they glow when he steps on them, so it's kind of like he walked into a trap. Because, you know, yeah.
But if she was perfectly capable of just murdering him, why did she throw him in a pocket dimension? It's really strange.
What if it was like a trap card? What was like Yu-Gi-Oh? That you just tripped the trap and she wasn't even aware it happened.
She also didn't. She seems to know who V is, right? Like
no, I don't think she ever actually sees V.
I'm pretty sure she talks about V really early on in that cutscene where he's hiding from Malthus.
Oh, is it? Oh,
like she's either talking about V, Urizen, or both because she's in on stuff.
She's saying that there can't be another descendant,
only,
so she's talking about Nero, I guess.
Actively, like, talking about what's going on.
Okay, so Bob, you think she's actively talking about, or she's talking about Nero?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind, haven't made it that far on my second playthrough, so I haven't had time to
I've only seen that in previs after the first time, so, you know.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this reminds me.
I was really tempted to play the games through the entire first playthrough ever with previs because that would have been an unreal experience that I could never have again.
Yes.
You're like, I love the cutscene with the action figure.
I like the cutscene where that action figure is green screened to be 13 feet tall.
Yeah. Every time they tape the action figure to the bird to make it V.
Uh-huh.
It's good.
It's really good. Bob?
Yeah,
what's the biggest complaint?
It's annoying that the problem from 4 is back, which is, to beat the game, or to get the trophy for beating easy mode, you have to go beat easy mode. You don't just beat normal.
I hate that so much.
For me, I was actually going through easy and normal relatively at the same time. Like in between breaks, I just burned through it, so I didn't really have a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down and do it at some point, but also,
that's one of those really giant taboos as a game developer. Don't fucking do that. Never do that.
I haven't played Heaven and Hell mode yet.
Yeah,
but if
beating any difficulty should unlock every previous difficulties achievement.
Right.
Every time.
That's the official stance of this podcast.
It kind of makes sense here because they grade you on each difficulty. So it's like you got the trophy for beating human mode, but you also have no credit in human mode. Mm-hmm. So I kind of get it here over other games.
Okay, but if I S ranked normal, I obviously would be able to S rank easy.
Right.
There's no proof of that. Maybe you kill it too fast. You trip and get a D. Boom.
Boom.
Checkmate, atheist.
Bob, what? Bob,
I was gonna say, I haven't been unlocking yet, but it sounds like Heaven and Hell mode is back, and that
Hell and Hell is also back. That stupid meme mode.
Yeah, those two modes are kind of dumb.
Kinda.
Really dumb. I don't. Especially Heaven and Hell, because literally you should shoot everything.
You should explain what these modes are to people who've never gotten that far on a Devil May Cry before.
Heaven or Hell is everything dies in one hit, including you.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Hell or Hell is Dante must die mode, but you die in one hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Which at least with that one, it's like, okay, that's the extreme challenge. That's for the crazy. But yeah, the Heaven and Hell is like just pointless.
Is it raw?
I think Heaven and Hell's a really dumb, like, think about it this way, right?
Uh-huh.
There's no value to me going in on baby mode and beating the game. There's hilarity value in me going in as Dante and just shooting one bullet at every enemy.
It's true. It's funny. And I'm sure that it'll be very dramatic when you're just going around with Nero shooting them once and they explode. Like, it'll probably look cool. Like, at least there's that side to it.
And V will be like, I'm so weak. And then he's one-shotting everything with Griffin.
Maybe they'll add, maybe there's some funny visual to it. Maybe your character has a halo. Every one of those.
Maybe there's something cool.
It's weird that they have those.
Yeah, but I understand why
guys are listing using that mode to get the beat Urizen in the prologue achievement.
Oh my god, that's right.
That's brilliant.
I didn't think of that.
They're like, just one-shot him like that.
What are you doing? Just shoot. Shoot once. But Bob,
But yeah, my main complaint's the human mode thing, I guess.
okay.
Which really is minor. Like, that's insanely minor.
yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't hate that mission as V. It just felt really... One, it disappointed me that my premonition of there will be no boss rush kind of got thwarted by it.
Right.
Because I am all for not having a boss rush in the Devil May Cry, but...
I thought it was fun because, one, it's incredibly short. It's simple. You're playing it with a very original character. One of them has an Italian name now, and
he comes with unlimited breadsticks.
yeah.
What about soup?
What about soup? I think all of that worked really well.
I like that you get to see some of the cool animations for V killing them that you wouldn't otherwise get to see till Bloody Palace. Like Cavalier Angelo's is really funny, where V literally nothing personal kids him.
Oh yeah, because he stabs you, but no, that was an after image.
Yeah.
And then, what's your favorite V kill animation?
Well, that.
Yeah, that's the cool one.
Artemis,
weird.
because I just like that you just split her down the middle with the cane.
That one is insane.
I'm torn between the Hell Scissors or the fucking Stretch Armstrong scythe guys.
Oh, have you seen the one for the nobodies where the eye rolls along the ground?
Oh yeah, you like pick up the eyeball.
Yeah, and throw it at him. But I really like he smacks the Hell Scissor and the scissor falls down and beheads them, or the one where he just scoops up the scythe off the ground and chops the guy with his own scythe. Those are both really good.
I don't think I've even seen that one.
I wonder what I haven't fought a Blur as him. There just isn't one in his mission, so I actually wonder if that's.
I'm sure Dante
cool.
Must Die will show you that.
Right, yeah, probably.
It's reminding me of Nero's Buster takedown with the Hellkina, which are the scythe ones, where he just grabs them, disarms them, and gets behind them and just shoots them in the head. Just
he does like a
style.
He does like a really crazy like clashing with the blurs. It's cool.
But yeah, the only other thing I think of is I need more time with V. I need to see if that's actually like legitimately something with enough depth to make me really enjoy it. Like, I don't even going through the game twice, I don't feel like I got a lot out of it. Which, like Dan was saying, it's like a vehicle segment. It's not super good or anything.
Yeah.
It's something that mixes up the gameplay a little bit.
The only V thing I wish you just had like a button that said, "Hey Shadow, get the fuck over to what I'm targeting now."
Yeah, I feel like there should be some way to better control the enemies on the field. Like, I don't like that doing back and square with the bird causes him to warp back to you and then do that explosion attack. I want to be able to do that explosion attack wherever I want, like while it's out in the combat.
No, sometimes it doesn't warp him back.
I know, that's a weird thing. So I'm like, am I doing this wrong? Do I have to tap it, or I don't know.
Did
so I
you
feel
use
like there might be something.
Pumping them with DT much at all?
I did, just because I was like, well, maybe this will help.
Like, I did that during the boss rush part, and that was the only time I did it.
Their damage triples.
Yeah, using that with Shadow against those bosses, and you're just one combo does half its health.
It's really necessary. I'm sure it's very necessary on Dante Must Die, because even on Son of Sparta, I was like, these bosses taking a little bit of time to kill.
But yeah, I mean, these completely minor complaints, I feel like really showcase exactly how good of a game this is, because
they're minor blemishes on a diamond.
Right, like freaking the side mission. This is the first Devil May Cry.
Where the special missions.
Where the secret missions are, instead of bad to awful, that goes from good to great.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the worst thing I can say about the old secret missions. They reminded me of the challenges in God of War games you unlock from beating the game.
This is fucking hilarious, because I was going to say those secret missions remind me of Lords of Shadow.
Which I'm sure is a knockoff.
Which is a God of War knockoff.
Wait, these are all knockoffs of Devil May Cry 1.
But it even gave me a thing that I wanted and thought is a joke, and was like, they're not going to include that in any way, which was like more than one scene involving crew cut.
I mean,
And they did, because if you beat that mission a second time, once you get the photo, one of the photos at the end of the mission are all the guys cheering Nero.
Yeah, it's so good. I was like, God, this game does so much to motivate playing it through more than once. It's great.
Yeah,
What
those
if Crew Cut is in Bloody Palace?
Yeah, I was going to say, I want the crew cut mode in Bloody Palace.
I really wanted more of him. I wish that there was more crew cut.
It's okay. At least Patrick Seitz also got to voice ahead of King Cerberus.
Yeah, right.
Oh god, he totally did.
Oh, also there was there's the one mission end of mission photo of V just drinking a monster.
Yep.
Wait, I don't remember this one.
It's not literally a monster, but that's the bit.
Okay.
Let me roast it.
One thing I forgot to mention that I think is cool is like references to other Capcom stuff where Dante has the air taunt where he throws the rose and it deals damage if it lands on something.
That's just from 4, though.
But
Yeah, that's just from 4.
okay. Because
and that's actually that launches guys really high.
Yeah, but I guess I just used it more in this game than I did in 4, so it just felt even more noticeable to the point where it does the same damage as like 2 or 3 sword slashes.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't use that thing.
I want to kill Virgil with it.
It doesn't do that much damage to Virgil though, because I was using it a little bit ago.
Okay, that would make sense. He doesn't like agriculture.
You got to put the hat on him and force him to be DMC Devil May Cry Virgil.
Yep.
And he's like, "This is bullshit. I don't hate women." And then you get the secret instant kill where Dante has him canceled on social media.
Thank you for listening to the Devil May Cry 5 Spoilercast. As always, these podcasts wouldn't be possible without your support on patreon.com/gbpodcasts. Head over there to help us continue making these, and look forward to more Spoilercasts and Gamer Premonitions.
Okay, Bob.
What's up?
We're doing it.
What am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Like the
You're supposed to say that this is the GigaBoots executive producers. So you're supposed to thank them.
This month's GigaBoots executive producers for February 2019 are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon,
Even if you say it right now, it's that one.
Spaceman Spiff, Prince Van Space, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Wardonis, Shadow in the Darkness, and Shadow in the Darkness. Thanks to our executive producers, and also these guys. Oh man, where'd they go? They're so quick. You think they'll be back?
No. Tell them they can go to patreon.com/gigaboots today.
Go to gigaboots.com and become a patron. Yeah, you can go to GigaBoots. You can go to patreon.com and become a patron of GigaBoots.
We're letting you do that. You're welcome.
It was great. It would be great. Thank you for doing it. I'm sure you've already done it.